I mean, I'd love to hear more as to why you've seen it before. And we can explore that, because I don't think I felt like I'd seen it before, because there was a couple of odd moments where
that's true.
Was surprised, especially the ending.
It's obviously not like a total remake of anything. It just, to me, it felt like it was a redo of Quantum of Solace, where it was like, okay, you were chasing this super secret organization. Well, guess what? It's back. And now you're going to see who the boss is. Like, it's not going to be another henchman. You're going to actually be like face to face with the boss. Like, look, we're going to do it right this time. We promise. We promise it'll be good.
I think the end villain at least had a interesting character history, where Blofeld in the originals was just a villain. Like, I don't think he had too much backstory, but I don't know how much. It does feel like a stand-in. I don't know if it felt just like Quantum of Solace, but it did feel like Skyfall existed, and then we have the end of the trilogy of Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and this one. Lost the name.
Oh,
this
Spectre.
One, Spectre. It was like, so impressive of a movie. I forgot what it was called. Hello and welcome to Potato Chip Pictures. We're a podcast reviewing movies, franchises, really. But right now we're on a movie set, nearing the end of our, what would be a good adjective for James Bond. That's probably good enough. Spectre is the penultimate of the current James Bond franchise. I'm sure we're going to get a new one because Amazon has the rights. But I wonder if they have the rights to Spectre. Were they that circumspect with their legal discussions? Who knows? But here we are with which year was this? The 2015 release. 2012 was the last one, and it felt like Bond was retiring, but then he didn't at the end. And this one has got to be the last one until he doesn't retire again. But actually, he does retire in this movie until he doesn't retire in the next movie. I can't remember what the next movie begins like, because do they resolve that? I don't know.
I have never seen the next movie. That is going to legitimately be a first watch for me.
I think I watched some of it when I rented it once. And if this one is slow and 2.5 hours long, the next one at least I think is a little bit faster, but still just as long.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm not staying up to watch it after we record tonight.
Where $200 million got you $1 billion in Skyfall, this film cost what? $230 and only gave him 0.88 billion or 880 million in
I was going to say, when you put it in a decimal format, that makes it so much more humbling.
Not even a billion. And I mean, what else is there to say? Is this the second one by Sam Mendez?
It is, and it was his second one in a row. We haven't seen that since like way back in the Sean Connery, maybe Roger Moore. Well, yeah, Roger Moore through Timothy Dalton had one guy directing all of them, but he purposely was like small stakes, no end of the world stuff.
And this one, the stakes aren't quite end of the world. I feel like it's kind of a lot of intelligence and this giant organization. Like, okay, that tracks for a spy versus spy scenario, and it does feel like a couple smaller characters got a lot more screen time than they usually do, and that's all right.
Oh yeah.
But the complexity wasn't quite set up for me to believe that he was the author of all of James's pain. Like, okay.
Yeah, 100%. What a statement out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, okay. But yeah, that leads us to, I don't know, what do you want to say else about the actual real
Well,
facts?
I will say the only thing that we have missed is actually introducing ourselves.
If you're listening this far, we are your hosts. I am Justin.
And I am B. Sammy Davis.
It's great to have you back on the podcast for listening to us.
Yes. My big issue with this movie is that I do agree that having, bad guys getting total access of our data and knowing what's going on at all times, that is scary. It's just, I feel like I already live in that world. And so it's hard to feel like this movie has saved the day because, surprise, Bond lost in the real world. Like, we really are being monitored at all times.
Oh. I know we'll get to the end of the movie, but it does feel funny that the timer is counting down to when the next evil villain system will kick on. And it's like, well, if there's an on switch, like, why not turn it back off? Like, sure, all of the information will have gone out the door, but
can you pull the branch off of
GitHub?
Like,
just turn it off again.
Yeah,
who knows?
And I guess that's what he's coding for. They're, that's part of the security is that they don't want. But yeah, it is a pretty hot mess, and I don't know. It looks great, and I will say the intro is really good, and it's kind of teasing us to what Sam Mendez will do in 1917, his World War I single shot movie. Well, I think there are a couple of cuts in the movie, but for the most part, once the camera starts tracking, there are no obvious cuts in the movie, and it looks great.
I mean, the intro is very yellow, and it feels so choreographed at the beginning because of the one shot, and then I kind of lose track of caring when they're in the helicopter. But we'll set it up. This is gosh. I don't know what country we're in.
We are in Mexico. Yeah,
I just saw a flag. Bond is walking through the crowd in a white suit, and we see him. It's kind of opposite all of the black dressed people in the procession.
You're close, except it's not Bond in the white.
No. Exactly, because he's got a mask on. We don't know who it is. It could be Bond. No, fake out. Bond is standing on an angle where this guy in white walks by.
I watched this twice, and I forgot to look if Bond is genuinely there. That's the thing I don't know.
He walks by him and turns, and Bond continues in the direction he was going into a hotel, and it's like, you've completely lost sight of this guy. But as he goes up into the hotel with the lady, she seems convinced that they're going to do stuff, and is surprised when Bond has completely changed his suit in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm baffled by it too.
But this is what he does to women all the time.
Sure.
Like, he will use them as cover in order to get somewhere.
He needs access to this particular perch on the roof.
Yep.
So he can walk very coolly over to a place to see a room that I presume he's bugged. I have no idea how he's hearing them.
Yeah, for real.
And I learned that Bond speaks Spanish. I don't know why I didn't think he did. But, like, there's subtitles, but he doesn't have subtitles, so...
Yep.
Why would he know?
I guess he's just a smart guy.
I mean, it feels like in other spots he does speak, like, German? I don't know what he speaks when he goes to is it Italian?
I think he speaks Italian.
I think, like, they're in Rome later on, but... I don't know Italian. Anyway, the helicopter bit, they notice him. He's trying to assassinate one of them. And then they go on the run. But this building crashes down.
Bond gets a lucky shot that kills a building.
Yeah.
Because he takes one shot at a dude, takes another shot at another dude, takes a shot trying to hit a third dude, and hits the wall, and then seconds later there's an explosion.
Must have hit a sparking gas pipe or something. Yeah.
And it causes the collapse of the building into the one that Bond is standing on. I was having fun until the first explosion, and by the domino effect of the building crashing and, creating a ramp, like... It stopped being fun for me at that point. And I was like, dang it. They lost, like, I don't know. It felt a little phoned in. He goes down a slide.
Helicopter is where I got, like, okay, he has to fight this guy. He only manages to get a ring. Why is he focusing on the ring? He gets a ring. Okay. Like, in the previous... Quantum, did he find a ring? That's where there's a couple of hand waves in this entire movie that just aren't... I don't enjoy them. Skyfall felt like nothing was unexplainable. So then he gets the ring, kicks the guy out of the helicopter, while the helicopter pilot's doing nothing, and then takes control of the helicopter.
This is where I have to jump in, because Bond started his fight with the helicopter pilot. Bond starts fighting this Sciarra guy. We don't know his name yet, but, he starts fighting the guy in white after he has survived killing a building, and they have chased each other through the Day of the Dead parade. And the helicopter is there to pick up Sciarra, but Bond, catches up and gets in there and starts fighting. And after throwing 2 punches at Sciarra, he leans into the cockpit and starts hitting the pilot. The pilot hasn't done anything and presumably is just happy to fly. But Bond starts beefing with him too. I'm going to start punching you now.
It's going to work out. Don't worry about it.
It's fun to see the mayhem. It would be really intense to have been just an extra and likely just a citizen who was told, hey, they're going to be filming here. Do you want to be a part of it? That's also assuming that they did any of that practical. And I don't know. It didn't look digital to me.
The helicopter looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it looked practical.
I only think I saw an article say that the procession and all the extras went all day long because they just wanted to get a nice, good cut. And I don't know if it was just the beginning procession or the helicopter area.
Yeah.
But the helicopter, at the end of it, Bond manages to take control, survive. Both bad guys fell out. He has a ring. We are at 13 minutes when the intro the song begins, and I have never been more disappointed in an intro song.
For real.
This one.
Oh my gosh. The song itself is fine. The credit sequence itself is fine. It just doesn't feel like a Bond movie.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't like the song.
I'm not a huge Sam Smith fan. Like he can
enjoy his other ones.
Yeah,
his good ones.
And I'm sure there are good ones out there. To me, this sounded like any other of his songs, and so I was like, whatever. Yeah. But we're so ready for a bombastic, mood-setting, larger-than-life theme song, and then we get this little whiny song with piano.
Yeah. I just didn't like the song. I don't have any musical criticisms. It wasn't memorable.
Oh yeah.
It does match, I feel like, the style of the other ones I've heard from Sam Smith, but...
Mm-hmm. I will say the most memorable thing about it is how disappointing it is. And I would say this is almost the reverse of that Madonna song. Die Another Day, I think, was hers. And I love that song. That song is terrible, but I love it. And then this song is just bland, and I genuinely don't like that it is a song in a Bond movie. It makes me even more angry about Katie Lang's surrender. Like Sam Smith got a whiny piano ballad as the opening theme song for a Bond movie.
I don't even know if it comes back at the end.
Nope. There are like cues and themes from the music that will be repeated throughout the movie. So there is like a hummable riff that is distinctive, but then it's better when it's orchestrated and it's just part of the regular movie. Like, I don't like this one. I don't like this one.
Do enjoy when he recovers the helicopter out of a spin. Mm-hmm. The fanfare that does the Bond, like, success, like, good job. This is not the Price is Right failure song, so. You made it, Bond. Good job. You're awesome. Mm-hmm. Now let's cue the intro and try to forget it. Well.
And also try to forget the intro when that is done.
It is not a good intro. Trying to think of how Bond is in this movie, because I will at least say he feels different in when he's talking to M, when he's fighting in like the snow area. He's, at least the examples I have are, he's not quite so what's the word, opposing to what M's suggesting. Like, yes, he's not going to sit on the sideline, but he's like, yep, sounds good. Yep, sounds good. Like,
yeah, he is much more accommodating than either Daniel Craig's Bond or really any of the other rebellious Bonds have ever been.
Yeah, I think he's setting it up to be able to go do his own little mission that he's doing. Mm-hmm. But it was a change.
Yeah.
When I referenced the ski part, he, instead of shooting the bad guys dead, he's like, punches one, knocks him out, shoots the other guy in the leg, and it's like, back when previous M was telling him not to kill everybody, he took it to heart.
Yeah.
Unless he
is learning and listening.
He'll change. It's so a little different.
Yeah, and, that is the advantage to a hard reboot. One of the other advantages to a hard reboot is that you don't have to have any of the former mythology. Oh boy, I want so badly to like the changes that they made with this mythology, but we can't get into it yet. But I will say this movie eventually, to me, becomes a parody of a parody. And that kind of breaks my heart. But, first we've got to get back into MI6. And like you said, there was that conversation. But we do get to meet our first new character of the movie, someone in the intelligence agency, maybe.
I forget his name.
It's Max Denby.
Max.
And for some reason, Bond just calls him C. And it's
Yeah.
like, why? Why did Bond decide, oh, then you must be C? Why? Like, none of that makes sense.
I cannot remember any of the lines for, like, maybe he said he was in a committee or something. Like, no, I have no idea.
And I don't think there is anything that would suggest that. I mean,
I feel like there must be something, right?
The C word in, British slang is a real word. And so obviously that's what they're going for. But it's so crude that it feels out of place. Like, especially with this Bond, who is so clever and so intelligent. Like, where did he pull C? Call him D. It has the same meaning.
I mean, there you go. Oh, I mean, it establishes at least our secondary bad guy, which he doesn't hide it, or the film doesn't hide it very well.
Yeah.
That he's not going to be welcome, and we can already be suspicious of him. And guess what? Our suspicion pays off. But good job, audience.
We're so smart, everybody. We did it.
The film told us to.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Obvious bad guy was obviously the bad guy. It turns out he was the bad guy.
Like I don't remember the advertisement for this so much, but I do feel like they didn't hide away the main villain in the billings, because Christopher Waltz, wasn't he coming off of like Inglourious Bastards? Or
I have no idea.
is that after
but
this?
I do know that they didn't. They clearly wanted it to be a big reveal that this was Blofeld, and yet, like, you can clearly see who the actor is whenever he's shadowed. Like, they even in the movie they give us this red herring of his dead name before he becomes Blofeld, and like. And I do vaguely remember in the advertising, they wanted it to be this mystery of like, who is Bond's greatest villain and where is he? What's happening? It was all hype. They just bought the rights back for Spectre. And to answer your previous question, yes, Amazon now owns Spectre. Like, it was MGM who purchased Spectre in order to consolidate all of the Bond holdings, as it were. And that was like the last piece, was Spectre itself. And so they jumped the gun by doing Quantum of Solace. They didn't need to have Quantum at all. If they had just held on to the strategy and been like, okay, we are going to own everything Bond related, then we wouldn't have needed either of these movies.
They just had it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, they're I'm trying to figure out where we are. I'm so flustered by this movie. Oh,
we got out of the helicopter. MI6 is gone.
Yes.
But we talked about Moneypenny talking with him.
No, because Bond he's not like fired. He's just put on suspension. He's on vacation. And then, he asked Moneypenny to go to his house, and we're sitting here thinking, like, is he being creepy again?
Yeah.
Like, come on. But nope.
He has reason this time, at least.
Yep. He has a home movie of former M, because we still can't let go of Judi Dench, and she's still the one giving the mission.
I wonder if we feel any of that in the last movie. It's interesting knowing that there's a next movie, especially at the end of this one. But anyway, she's convinced that Bond needs to take someone out and watch the funeral. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's not much to go on.
I mean,
eventually he figures out, he finds the right person, but that's another hand wave of, how did you find the right person?
I guess he was just a public figure, or at least he didn't have a pseudonym or any code names, so they would announce the obituary right there in the papers. But I do agree that I'm just sitting here thinking like, all right, well, at least Bond is smart again, and he knows how to like put together leads and put together pieces. But why does he need... Oh, I remember why he needs Moneypenny. It's because he wants to look up... or he needs someone inside to do research. Because later on, he will call and be like, do research on this specific person, both up to and after his death. And... that doesn't really pay off for anything, but whatever, you know, it's a interesting line.
I'm trying to remember what even he asks her to look at, because
it's Oberhaus. Yeah, you're right.
Like at the beginning, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't see Franz.
So he says something like, I need you to do research. And I cannot remember who he asked her to...
What she's researching.
Yeah. Because he's essentially like, I'm going to go to Rome. Like, absolutely no one is stopping me. I am on my way out. I'll even go visit Q and get trackers in my blood. And I'm still just going to go away. Like, no one is stopping me on this mission. But I know he gave her a mission...
something.
And I can't remember what it was because I don't think it means anything. I don't think it matters at all.
I mean, I think it's maybe figuring out more about the funeral or something.
Yeah, it's got to be something. It's what it really exists for is to compromise Miss Moneypenny so that later on in the movie, C can reveal that he's been listening in on Bond's conversations the whole time.
The whole time?
The whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that she's back in the movies.
Oh, yeah. I love our new Miss Moneypenny. I'm glad that she's a part of the action. I wish she were more a part of the action in this movie. But, you know, I'm glad that these movies, with the hard reboot, we get to see MI6 and its component members as part of the characters and as part of the whole experience. It's not just Bond versus a supervillain, you know?
Yeah.
But I have mixed feelings about the Q scene in this movie. I think it's fine. I
was going to say that I feels like some of the things that... I mean, that's most movies, but the things that happen to Bond are necessary, so in the future Q knows where Bond is. Less maybe for any other plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bond needs to be hiding away somewhere, not supposed to be there, but Q needs to be able to lie to M. And okay, so then he has to go get trackers in his blood. Yeah. Okay, thought he was just on like house arrest or something.
Yeah, it is
stood down.
It's such a non-issue and such a dumb little side thing. I'm just gonna cover the entirety of the Smart Blood program right now. Bond gets injected. He convinces Q to give him 2 days without, anyone knowing where he is. Then he does something that gets M's attention. M calls Q and says, "Where's Bond?" Q covers for him and says he's in Chelsea. So Bond can continue to do his own thing. Then no one cares about the Smart Blood program until we find out who the bad guys are, and suddenly the Smart Blood program needs to be deleted. Like, it is so dumb. It doesn't need to exist. Oh, it makes me angry.
They could just track him on his phone or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Track him with a different bug. Yeah.
But we do get to see the car.
The car.
Car is cool. Now,
Bond steals.
One of the things I need to point out, because every once in a while I will surf YouTube and see what other people have to say about the movies that we are watching. And There was a CinemaSins on Spectre. and they point out the watch that Q gives him. That is a watch, so he will be on time. And later on, that watch becomes a bomb. And they're like, you told us this watch was nothing more than a watch, blah, 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 blah. Except the very next thing that Q says is, the alarm is really loud, though. And Bond looks at the watch, realizing the watch is explosive. So it's not, like, he does tell him, it's just a little more clever than most of us are willing to admit.
Yeah, I think I understood that it was a bomb, because I can also see where it could just be, the alarm's loud so that you'll be on time. But
or the alarm for the car that they just showed us is really loud. So if you try to steal it, be aware of the car alarm, you know? And then one other thing that I have to point out, it's shortly after this, but it is Q related. 009 shows up to pick up the Aston Martin DB10. It is therefore supposed to be ready and prepared for 009 to pick it up. But when Bond decides to use most of the gadgets, they do not... Well, I wouldn't say most of them. At least the important machine gun does not have any ammunition loaded. And so it's like, then it's not ready for pickup.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but chalk that one up to, it needs to not work, so Bond has to improvise. Like, cool. So then he could have just, stolen it, and 009 didn't need it yet.
Yeah, it's still in
it could have
prototype.
been unfinished in unfinished state. Yeah.
But no, it's ready to be picked up now, except it's not ready to be picked up now. Like, it's one of those things where they're like, well, Bond has funny moments. Let's make sure there are funny moments in this Bond movie. And I don't know, I've never been a huge fan of funny Bond. Like, sometimes he's given me a good chuckle, but most of the time I'm kind of cringed out by it.
Yeah. I enjoy that Q is a little more lighthearted, and I think he laughs at something silly. Like, it's not so far as to make him childish or something, but he gets a little bit more of personality.
Yeah, and we can kind of see them more as peers now, almost like original Q was with every other Bond, where you start to see the relationship that they have, that it is a friendly one, and that they do respect each other. So I'm starting to see that, and I didn't get that very much in the last movie.
No. I think it's a little bit of humor, fun, that takes up good space in a very long movie. Very slow movie. Oh my gosh. Even the speech sounds slow. I caught up a little bit on some of the parts at 2 times speed, and I swear they speak at the regular speech rate at 2 times speed, because it's like half of the speed.
We've got to make it dramatic.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is just empty space.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that we got to keep in mind is that while we have the same director, we don't have the same cinematographer. And there are some shots that I think look pretty good, but I don't think they're ever going to reach the levels that Skyfall had, where they were really going for playing with light and dark. But in this one, the funeral scene is one of those moments where you look at the entire composition of the shot and it looks pretty cool. You've got all these white pillars contrasted with, people wearing their dark suits. It looks almost like you could find it in a museum somewhere, as like a still life.
Yeah. The funeral, I don't know how he knows to approach the wife, but that's the person that he's supposed to be watching. somehow M knew that.
I think he's on his own at this point, and I think approaching the
Okay.
wife is just his intuition to be like, I don't know anybody else here, but I know Skiara. Like, I killed that guy. Like,
Yeah. All right. Because I'm like, it doesn't. I don't know what is the intuition for going to that person. I feel like sometimes they'll either be like, oh, he thought of this, or something is different. No, he just the people at the funeral go away with a back headshot from our Blofeld character.
mm-hmm.
She's the only one left there. It's like, I guess I better approach this person. Like, thank you, world, for narrowing it down for Bond.
Yep, everybody cleared out at the same time except for one person. That's who we talked to.
And it is, would you call her a Bond girl? Because she seemed like less so than other ones. Although,
She is going to end up on the Bond girl list. Yes.
Okay.
But she would definitely not be one that's very important. And this is one of those, at least she survived to our knowledge.
as far as we know.
Exactly.
Felix was helpful, even though he doesn't exist in this film.
Yeah, like
We say he does.
he got a name drop, and presumably he's gonna protect this woman in Italy and get her out of Italy. But I can't believe I have forgotten her name. The actress's name is
Monica Bellucci.
Yes. So apparently she had been considered in one of the Brosnan era movies. I think it may have been the Denise Richards movie where they had been considering Monica Bellucci. And I guess the producers were like, no, she's too old. We don't want to go for her. I still think she is gorgeous. Like now,
Sure.
like almost 20 years later, from when she was originally going to be cast, she is still stunning and breathtaking to look at. But
Sure.
pretty big star for a very small role.
Like Terry Hatcher.
Exactly. Yeah. But surviving.
Like, I didn't know she was in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there she is, and Bond's gonna get information from her, but he doesn't immediately take off like most of the other women that he gets information out of. So that's a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he wanted to have a little bit of like, remember, his type is the married woman, and a widow is a married woman who's never going to have a jilted husband coming after you.
I guess. I don't know. I still don't quite get. It's like, okay, if that's just your type, but I feel like it. When they said it felt like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Of course, that's your type.
Yeah.
Like, why is that your type?
And
Okay,
I
it's
just
just a
keep
preference.
holding on to it. I don't know if they have ever explored it since then. You could
Because
make
he was married once. That's why. 'Cause Bond was married.
You could make the argument that he was going after at least a taken woman in Skyfall. But I don't think he went after really anyone in Quantum of Solace. I think he was still smitten by Vesper.
Oh yeah, and he like at the end when they finished everything, he kisses the other lady, and it's kind of out of nowhere because they're parting ways. Like, okay, friends, kiss goodbye. Sure, okay.
That's a weird thing we do now, I guess. But, I'm glad that Lucia gave us the information because, the other very pretty shot that kind of makes me angry is coming up next when we find out that this secret organization is going to be meeting in Rome. That's going to be fun.
I'm not remembering the pretty shot.
Well, the
Like
pretty
the cool
shot
building?
is really just when Bond is looking over the conference table and we've got the villainous looking
It's a giant room.
Exactly.
Your favorite.
And we haven't had a giant
table.
Or these imposing structures have been noticeably lacking in this franchise for a while. So I'm glad that we've got another impractical interior design.
At least the table serves a purpose of fitting like 50 people around.
Yeah, with their assistants.
That's why it's giant. There's no giant red circle on it, but
nope.
Everybody has a seat. If you want a seat, you just got to kill somebody.
I'm going to say the audience kind of bugs me because, like, what we know about conspiracies is that the more people involved, the harder it is to keep a secret. And the original versions of Spectre, the meetings would only have the numbered higher members there. But now we've got every goon and thug across the globe listening to the bosses make their plans. And I'm just like, they're going to talk. Someone here is going to talk.
They are so trusted.
Yeah.
Although, like, if the succession works in that if you kill somebody, you take their spot, I'm like, I feel like there would be so much betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So how would you let them to your meeting? Like,
yeah, that's the other thing. How do you effectively run a meeting when someone who has a very complicated plan gets murdered midway through the plan, and now you've got someone who's like, I have no idea what they were doing. I just wanted their seat. Like,
I'm gonna go take care of this by doing something. Yeah. But it's my turn. I've proven my strength. Okay.
Let's talk about proving our strength, because that's the other thing about this scene that I need to talk about.
For Bautista?
Yeah. The fact that
Sure.
Drax appears in this movie, and he's got 2 steel plates on his thumbs. All the better for gouging people's eyeballs out. And we will see those plates much later in the movie, but the concept of gouging out eyes just goes away after this moment in the movie. Like, his gimmick is steel thumbs and...
Good vibes.
He's got a double-barrel pistol that is more impressive than anything he does. Dave Bautista doesn't even get to speak in this movie. He gets his line overdubbed. His one line gets overdubbed.
Oh, they dubbed it? Oh, that's a shame. I feel like he was decently known, but I think I mix up my years because maybe he was just doing Guardians. I don't know.
Well, and I don't know if Guardians had come out yet. Wasn't that 2016, maybe?
Oh, I have no idea. I think he's all right as a menacing presence, but he does only get as much dialogue as Jaws, so...
Guardians came out in 2014, and Spectre came out in 2015. Like, people knew that Dave Bautista knew how to act and speak. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he overdubbed his own line. It's just...
Maybe it was shot really far before.
Yeah, like it does not sound like his voice when he gives his one and only line later in the movie. And I just hate the gimmick.
So I hate it. I don't hate him as a henchman. The thumbs are, since they're thrown away, like Jaws was Jaws all the time. Yeah. He was chomping through whatever he needed to chomp through. This guy only gouges out eyes. He kind of attempts it when they're fighting on the train, but like mildly.
Yeah, he's in the wrong, like he gets behind Bond and you can see him getting his fingers in position, and then I think he realizes, oh, what am I going to do? Stab through bone? Like,
well, so, I mean, this is supposed to be introducing us to Franz, which is who Bond is going to ask Moneypenny to look into, because he's sure that Franz is dead. And I'm like, how are you sure? I don't even know who this guy is. We won't find that out till like another hour from now.
Yeah.
So,
and it's going to be treated like the biggest mystery that they only look at 3 times in the entire movie. And they don't even, They barely explain it. It is Franz himself who finally delivers the metaphor to the audience.
Yeah.
And is like, this is how we've been related the whole time. And Bond is silent and just like, whatever. Like, I don't even remember the dude.
I was surprised because I was like, oh, I mean, that is plenty good motivation for a villain. But, like, I didn't ever consider Bond's adopted parent and their family. So, hey, like, okay, you surprised me. This guy actually came out of nowhere. Why would Bond suspect him to be the mastermind of everything? Like, he wouldn't. So, okay, I can live with that assumption.
I'll agree with you completely. Like, it's totally fine for someone who has faked their death to still be obsessed with someone else and to manipulate their lives and to make, certain moves without revealing themselves. I'm fine with that. I'm genuinely not upset even by the stolen valor of this movie claiming Skyfall.
Yeah, like, of course he was part of our organization.
Yes.
No, he was independent contractor.
Yeah, let that movie be on its own. Why does it have to be swallowed up into the beast that is this movie? But I just never care. Like, I almost feel like they don't need,
that sort of connection.
Yeah, it's so hard because on the one hand, it is a very interesting idea, and why not? It's a hard reboot.
Why not?
We can do whatever we want in this universe now.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you haven't watched Austin Powers, and I have.
Well, if it's helpful, I think without the motivation, I just question, why was Franz already working on an anti-spy organization? Because it felt like Bond kind of wandered into their crosshairs.
Yeah.
And so then he was like, okay, so I'm going to take out my revenge on Bond now. But if Bond hadn't ever fallen into Spectre's villains, would Franz just be working on his spy mayhem? Or was he so mad at Bond? Because it felt like that's what they wanted it to be meaningful. Like, he is mad at Bond, but he wasn't like planning this. Was he planning on James becoming a spy? I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. You have just bullseyed my biggest beef with this movie. And that
everything was planned.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm sitting here like, how you, Mr. White, who used to be number 2 to this organization, laughed during the beginning of Quantum of Solace, where he was like, we are convinced that you are looking over our shoulders and you don't even know who we are. And we have continued to not know anything about who they are. And now he shows up saying, not only did you foil those plans as intended, I knew everything about your life. I have been following, like, your military career. I somehow knew that you got into MI6, and then I started these plans. Like, oh my gosh.
Hand wavy.
Yes.
Of course, this is why I did this. Like, I doubt that. Press X to doubt.
And, a big part of this, to me, is that every other movie, they have been content to at least tell one story. And then the follow-up movie, they're like, no, we're telling a big story. And you guys gotta get on board for this big story. And then nobody cares about the big story.
Yeah, I think we're spending the time on this guy, Blofeld, Franz, because it's the only compelling part. Because his car chase is a car chase. He gets to use the buttons. he escapes from the meeting where he meets Blofeld.
Blofeld calls him out in the meeting by name. Like, it is a pretty interesting moment because you're like, is there someone else named James? Like, you can't blow your cover because maybe he's talking to someone else. And then there's the car chase with the Jaguar that doesn't have any gadgets in it. And Bond
just has to chase him.
Yep.
He's going to catch him.
Yeah, he's a much better driver than Bond. It's only through dumb luck that Bond is able to get away the 2 times that he does. One of those dumb lucks is that Q actually remembered to load something.
Yeah. At one point, Bond calls Moneypenny and gets more information because he knows that Franz is there. I'm like, I feel it's still supposed to be a mystery. It feels like, Franz must have been like a spy or like a Q. And Bond is surprised to see him, so he checks to see with Moneypenny if she can find him. But a little bit of the humor is that she has someone sleeping over, and Bond is somewhat surprised.
He's taken aback.
The face is like of the guy who's never shown. And I feel like it was halfway like set up to be some reveal, but we never find out who that person is. So it's like, okay, it was just a random. Yep. All right.
It's just a reverse version of what the relationship used to be when Miss Moneypenny would call Bond and he would be actively sleeping with a woman. Now it's reversed. Ha ha ha.
I mean, it makes the relationship a bit more complicated, so it's like a workplace some semi-flirting. The previous movie I felt like they were getting ready to get each other, but this one is back to platonic with complications.
I figured out who he sent Miss Money to look for. I remember now because it was related to something he heard in Mexico. It was the Pale King.
Oh, Pale King, right?
Yeah.
Mr. White.
Yeah, we got him back a 3rd time.
Their little meeting talks about killing the Pale King, and then they talk about James. I feel like I think you called Mr. White second in command, and I feel like he was so much cooler then. And in this one, he's like exiled because he had a change of heart or something. I don't know.
It's not fully explained. They might have tried to explain it. The way that Mr. White describes it, it sounds as though eventually Blofeld got tired of him and was like, I'm ready for something new. I'm done with this toy.
You're doing too evil of things. No, I actually just am tired.
Yeah, I'm a little bored. Now I'm going to give you cancer. Because, that's the other thing, is he is dying. But he's not dying fast enough because they keep sending hitmen his way.
But I feel like they must know where he lives. Bond figures out where he lives.
I mean, I guess eventually Drax figures out where he lives. It takes him a while.
Before we get to Mr. White's house, we have to check in with M, who's at a voting meeting for this new security stuff. And Tanner, I was like, I didn't remember. Did someone email him the information about the car being in the water, or was he just browsing the internet during this meeting?
I think someone messaged it to him, but I don't know if we ever saw who it was who sent it to him, because they were just like,
that would have been funny.
Yeah. They're just like, are we sure that Bond is in is at his house or is under house arrest or whatever? And that's where Q lies for him.
Yeah.
And
don't want to get mad about it.
Well, and that's the thing. M never follows up. Oh,
kind of doesn't have to do his job at all until they confront Max.
Yeah. But whatever. We're in Austria now.
Yeah, I'm happy to move to Mr. White, even though I'm not too happy with this meeting. Like, Bond finds his house. They talk about how hard it is to be an assassin. Bond finds out that he's protecting his daughter, and then, like, I don't know, I didn't catch where he was unhealthy. Like, you said cancer, but I'm like, I don't.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
He mentions that they put thallium in his phone, and it worked pretty quickly, but not fast enough. That's why he's got an IV bag with him, and he looks so sickly the whole time.
They did a good job of making him look sickly.
Yeah. So he is a man who is on his way out. And what I will say, to this movie's credit, we're going to see this scene twice in the movie. And the first time, it plays normally. As we are watching it as an audience, we're like, yep, all of this is reasonable. Bond is coming in. He is making a deal. That deal involves protecting someone's daughter. I'm okay with this. But later on in the movie, Blofeld will play at least the back half of this conversation back. And as you listen to it again, you start to realize, wait a minute, this wasn't reasonable at all. Like, this lady was doing fine until Bond shows up, because he is going to show up in the very next scene, and that's going to ruin her life. Like, he is the catalyst for ruining this woman's perfect life.
She was perfectly hidden, I guess. Although I feel like if they had gone to kill this guy, maybe they would have just gotten the information out of him and found her. So
maybe
there is a percentage chance that he didn't ruin her life, but I can agree that he did.
But that's, I'm going to point to the fact that even in a really bad movie, there are still really good elements. And I think the Mr. White conversation is one of those things where, as I think about it, I'm like, that was a really good execution, because I'm guilty as an audience member. I also thought this was a perfectly reasonable deal until I heard it delivered to Dr. Madeline Swan. And then I was like, oh, this deal sucks.
I need information. Okay. Use my daughter to get the information. Like,
I'll even tell you where she is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that does help add to the eventual conflict and resolution of their relationship, which is hurried, to say the least, because Mr. White does die, and Bond leaves to go find his daughter to get information. Bond says that he's there to protect her. She's kind of like, no, we're going to kick you out. So, I mean, it's their first meeting, so we should probably consider if it's cool or not cool. I think it's pretty standard fare for, I'm here to save you. You don't want to be saved. Well, we'll see how that works out for you. And then damsel in distress and plane car chase. Like, it's not, it doesn't, Q's there.
That's pretty cool.
A little bit of help.
I like that Q's there. He's not a lot of help. In fact, he's more a damsel in distress than help. Like,
I don't think there's only a little bit of characterization of Bond talking about, like, his parents dying in a climate accident, and I'm like, I feel like that is a lie, but I don't actually know.
Yeah.
But it serves to set them up, I guess, a little bit. They're going to be our couple of the movie, and I just don't feel it by the end of the movie.
Oh, man.
I mean, by the end, maybe a little bit, but
yeah, I'll say by the end.
At the points where they want us to care, not quite.
Yes, exactly. By the end, I'm starting to get on board with their relationship, but all the way getting there, they even say they love each other at one point coming up very soon, and I'm like, no, you don't. You guys hate each other. Like, come on.
if I didn't know there was another movie and they rode off into the sunset like our Australian,
Yeah.
then I could be like, oh, okay. Like, there's time to fall in love and be with each other because Bond retires at the end of this movie. But there's another movie.
And it's good.
She doesn't die.
I have not seen
movie.
the next movie. I know she doesn't die in this movie, but I also know that she is in the next movie, and that has made me think,
I don't know
no.
what her fate
Yeah,
is.
like what else are we going to do with this story? Why do we have to keep doing sequels?
I mean, if she had died at the end of this one, it would have had to have been Blofeld in a neck cast. Yes. And then I would have accepted it.
He came back seemingly from the dead.
For a second time.
Yeah, I do like when the security guards try to grab Bond. Bond only has to punch one of them, and then he scolds the other one saying, "No, stay." It's cute, it's funny, but it's definitely something that was meant to cater to a Gen X audience, because I remember some of my Gen X friends being very tickled by that little exchange.
Yeah, that's that sense of humor that has been injected in a couple of these spots, which doesn't feel like, we wrapped production and here's some extra things we put in. Like, it felt like they, writing it, wanted Bond to have a little bit of quips that weren't just innuendos or puns.
Yeah, things that were maybe a little more badass. Maybe still funny, but, here's Bond and he's cool.
Yeah.
Q, like I said, is another damsel, but Bond doesn't know it. He's on his own.
Yeah.
There are two dudes. Well, it starts with one, but then a second dude gets in the gondola, and they're clearly going to get him. Yeah, and that's all he does is he waits for a moment and then runs away and slips into a janitor closet, and then he's free. He did it. He's the best at spy.
I think I was thinking on those two assassins, I'm like, oh man, this is a bad reputation for the Spectre assassins. This is not a spy. This is cute.
Yeah, this is a guy that tinkers. He's not a guy with guns. He'll build a gun. He'll make one. Oh man.
Yeah. So that was oh yeah, I'm glad he got away. Oh, Spectre kind of sucks at their job. Oh.
Yeah. But we finally figure out what l'Americain is. It's
in Tangier.
Yep. It's
a hand wave before we get to Tangier. Yeah. Q meets all of them all together in a room wherever he is.
That's
he says the ring proves that Franz is alive, and it's like, how the hell does that ring prove that he's alive?
It only proves
that doesn't make
that
sense.
He touched it at one point. He could have touched it when he was alive before the avalanche.
Well, what I got from the ring is that it's made of some element that all of these guys had in their toxicology on their autopsies. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't link back to Franz. And how does that put him at the top of the organization? Let's hand wave it and say it happened.
It's the way it is.
Yeah. So, dislike the hand waving that has happened several times already.
Mm-hmm.
But L'Americain is a place where her Mr. White father and, what would you call it? What would be a good companion to Mr. White? The Queen? I don't know. Mr. White sounds like a king from the chess set that's on his thing. They spent their honeymoon and their anniversaries there in this very room, and it's like, okay.
And I guess eventually Mr. White bought the building, and then eventually they got a divorce, and Madeline went off with her mother, but Mr. White kept the building and obviously did some renovations to his favorite room.
His favorite room got renovations that didn't include a secret door, but there is a doorway that you can punch through. So how did he use it?
I know. What is the deal with that?
Another hand wave. I'm like, Bond tears the place apart. They have a little bit of a banter and tussle, and she's drunk and he's drunk because they can't find anything.
Yep.
Bond manages to bust through the wall because a mouse goes through it. But I was stuck on, well, he boarded up that doorway. When he, like...
I mean, to the movie's defense, I would say when he had fully moved out of L'Americaine, that would have been when he would have boarded up the room for the last time, fully,
I guess,
painted and did everything, and then it's just hidden away forever, except he always knows that should he need it, he's got all of this evidence packed away.
He's got, like, see, ever somebody knocks it down and finds it, like Bond, it's like, okay. Like the Batcave just, behind one wall.
It's silly, I don't love it. What I do love is the combative relationship between Bond and Madeline, where Bond...
It's all right.
Like, he thinks, I'm Bond. I sleep with everyone. And she is like, you are scum and I hate you. And I enjoyed that. Like I said, I don't know if I fully believe that they fall in love when they supposedly fall in love. But at least at this moment, I'm like, okay, that was a good scene between these two. I believed it. I found it interesting to watch. And then Bond is making all this noise in the middle of the night. What a jerk.
Crash, boom, bang. I mean, we did skip over the plane attack.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Dave Bautista is dead, but...
That's right. It's also when we see Dave Bautista's double-barrel pistol, which is
the nice part of it.
I was going to say, it's his other interesting character feature, but it also stops showing up in the movie after this.
He has it. We don't need it anymore. He has it.
We know he's got steel thumbs and a double barrel pistol. He's not going to use either of those for the rest of the movie, but we know he has them.
Who has a double barrel pistol and two thumbs?
This guy. Apparently his name is Hinks, and I don't think they ever named him in the movie.
No, I don't think so.
So that's something we got out of the credits, if anyone knew his name, because he is never named once. But yeah, well, maybe he might have been named after he died. I don't know. I don't remember that part. But...
Well, he goes through the windshield, but doesn't die.
Yeah, this time he lives through his near-death experience. I'm going to say, to the movie's credit, it is kind of fun to watch a plane falling apart, but the part that lost me, and it is towards the end of the chase, it is when the plane finally crashes into the car. There's a huge fireball and explosion, and... Just like that Timothy Dalton movie where the airplane exploded in a car and a character was unscathed. Bond is completely unscathed by his plane exploding. And I'm just like, oh, that makes me so angry. Like, I was totally fine with just living in your world for this entire chase sequence and the destruction of this plane. But if you're going to have a giant fireball... that's gotta kill a thing. Dude's gotta die.
Yeah. It won't be the last time something explodes and makes you see angry. Oh, that ending of the movie is just, I know that it's so you get the final choice, but man, we'll get to it. Anyway, we are back to the room of their anniversary stuff. She sees that her dad had pictures of her, and even though she was disgusted with his work, she feels nice that he had those.
He did love me.
Yeah, this assassin guy actually, like Homer Simpson, pictures of your family at work. He just had pictures of his family on the wall where he planned his hits. You know, so they find the room and find the stuff.
Yeah, and apparently they find
that information sends them.
They
somewhere.
find the map that tells them about the crater.
Right, the crater.
Because I lied a little bit. The smart blood thing does come into play when Q is like, they're on a train heading in this direction, and every map says there's nothing here. But if I look at this map, it's a whole crater with a facility and blah, blah, blah. But that's the scene where they're like, you got to kill the smart blood program, delete everything.
Yeah.
So, like, when it finally comes into play, they kill it. Like, ugh.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But, you know, they do have that entire train sequence. I don't know how to say her name, but the actress playing Madeline Swan.
Leah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Leah Seydoux? Seydoux?
Possibly.
I think it might be Seydoux. Because I think I heard it and I was like the jet ski?
I mean, there you go.
I think she is just like every other Bond girl in this franchise. I think she's gorgeous, except on the train with the really dark red lipstick and the heavy makeup. I don't think it complements this particular actress, and it kind of makes me think, like, even with the most beautiful woman in the world, if you still try to over Bond her, it doesn't always work. And that to me is this train sequence where I'm like, wow.
I mean, the train sequence as a whole is to get them to the crater where Dave Bautista shows up to stop them from going to the crater where Blofeld is waiting for them on purpose.
Dave Bautista will show up on the train. So presumably he is still on that mission, that original mission, which was to take care of all the loose ends, no more mistakes. Even if Blofeld is waiting for Bond, I think in Drax's head, if he doesn't kill Bond first, he will be killed when Bond gets there.
Okay.
That might be giving this movie too much credit, but that's at least where my head was.
Yeah, I mean, it's before he shows up, they have a little bit of dinner and chit chat, but he shows up like really fast.
Yeah, like
they barely talked.
They get their drinks at the end of dinner, and he asks them to leave the shiny shaker. And then like a minute later is when we look through the shaker to see Dave Bautista charging up the aisleway. And then he kicks the table and not even at Bond.
It's long enough for them to get existential and say, Bond, do you really want to do this for the rest of your life? This seems like a good movie to hang it all up. Except the next movie is coming.
We can't hang it all up just yet.
Just yet.
I don't love the start of this fight sequence, but once it gets going and I am fine with the fact that none of his gimmicks matter anymore and it's just a big strong man fighting Bond, it's a pretty fun fight.
I enjoy that it looked like Bond and Bautista a couple times, like Craig and Bautista.
Yeah.
It looked like they had them do a couple of fun, phantom punches, and it had some stunt people because you're not going to toss Bond through the wall. But it did.
Nice. It's a very good, mostly up close fist fight. At one point, Madeline re-enters with a pistol. She takes a shot at Drax. I'm never gonna call him Hinks because why?
The movie doesn't call him Hinks.
Hits him in the shoulder, and then he goes into hiding mode.
in a train. How did he do that?
Yeah, like, and he's so huge. Big, but it's effective at the same time, like, because she's panicking and just blind firing until she's out of rounds, and that's when he makes his appearance again. There are some elements to this character that could have been so cool, but they waited until this fight to show us any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a decent send-off for the only henchman that had a name in the credits. So, well, I guess Max is a henchman, but it seemed like...
Yeah, I think...
Blofeld calls him, like, you know, an acquaintance. Like,
so this is where...
guy that works for me.
This is where I get pedantic. I tend to think that the people who work for the main boss and who are autonomous and able to make decisions... those are lackeys. And then the people who only get their orders from the boss and never get to make their own decisions and only do the job they were told to do, I think those are the henchmen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put Max firmly in the lackey category, whereas Drax goes into the henchman category.
Okay. I mean, I could see that being a good delineation of who is responsible and called what. So, henchman has a name that we don't know. Lackey has a name that we're introduced to and has some lines.
Yeah. Oh, man. And we're going to eventually get to more of his lines, which makes me so angry.
So sad.
Well, we
have to get through them.
I was gonna say we got to kill off Hinks. We've been dancing around it for so long, so let's go ahead and tie a rope around his neck. I guess he may have been going in for another eye gouging with. Yeah, he was strangling. He wasn't even trying to gouge out the eyes of Madeline. So he never uses those thumbs. Like, he just uses them once and then we just forget about them.
If it were true to Jaws' history, you could have used them to cut anything.
Yeah.
Pick anything. And show us that they are ridiculous thumbnails to have.
But no, we see them once and then, like, the movie remembers he has them at one point but doesn't use them.
Yeah, even when they're used, they're not super effective. It takes like 10 seconds for the guy to die.
He has to break his neck. He didn't even get to use his thumbs to do it. Oh man. Anyway, we're harping on the guy because he gets tossed out with some beer kegs. It's such an unceremonious death, but whatever. Fine. I half expected him to show up again. I was like, there's no way he's dead off of that. But I guess he's dead. He's for real's gone.
He's dead and we're alive, and wouldn't you know it, carpe that diem when you're alive, because apparently it always seems odd when they're like near-death experience where we should go do it, and like it's a little bit less creepy. It feels like there's a little bit more of a like shared vibe, like they like each other. It's like, okay, this isn't all creepy Bond.
Yeah, they kept each other alive, you know. They literally just survived a hitman, so
yeah,
I think that would put me in the mood, especially if one of my partners was a super spy, because remember, super spies are super horny.
Super. When everybody's super.
Yeah, like, I think it rubs off on you.
Sure. So I mean, that solidifies their relationship as they head on their way to a building that doesn't have anything. Like, they get off the train.
This is another one of those shots that I think is stunning to look at. This movie doesn't have a lot going for it, and this is one of those shots that really stands out when it's just the two of them in the desert at this train station alone. I don't know. I find it striking. I think it looks so interesting, but they're not there for long. Like, we don't get to revel in it or anything.
Bond gets to spot exactly what car it is that's coming up to him. Like, is that like a reference to this Franz's guy's family heritage? Is this the car that he killed his father with?
Nope.
I don't know.
Just cool car, and Bond knows what it is.
Knows that car. Okay. They're gonna go out to wherever his place is, get disarmed, and like, I don't know. It doesn't. The amount of danger that it feels like they're putting themselves in doesn't match their state of what do you call it, like readiness.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they don't drink the champagne, so they're not drunk while they going into this dangerous situation. But that doesn't help them very much anyway. I think it was right around here where I started noticing just how often the camera has like zoomed in or panned or zoomed out super slowly, imperceptibly slowly.
They really
want
to chew up that film. Let us
sure
really use every dollar. We're going to film this thing on actual film, and it's expensive. And I don't know if they actually filmed it on real film. But yeah, like, they're so cavalier for the amount of danger that they are in. They get to see a meteorite that has fallen on Earth. I do enjoy that little exchange when Blofeld reveals himself and they're talking, and he's like this unstoppable force coming to Earth, and Bond is like, but then it was stopped, right? Yeah. Like that's its most defining feature, is that it's stopped. And I love that line because I thought about it all the time. I was like, wow, like, even for all the damage that a meteor could do if it hits the Earth, it does stop. Like, it does reach a point where it can't go any further. We win. Yeah.
Is it that part? So then he walks them away from that meteor. He's all like, this place is information. And it's like, out in the middle of the desert. How do you get your information beamed to you?
I guess so.
What sort of infrastructure exists to get all this information to you?
He's got the best satellites that have ever existed. Nobody has.
Nobody knows about
them. They're just his total secret. But yeah, we get him to reveal everything. Like, yes, he used to be Franz Oberhauser, but now he's Ernst Stavro Blofeld, a name that means nothing in this universe.
Sure. And he only says that after he's knocked out James, because back in the room where he shows Madeline the tape of her dad, he also shows the tape of M resigning at MI6.
Yeah.
And then he also like hits a switch, or everybody had rehearsed.
Yes.
The lights go out and everyone stands up, and I'm immediately thrown back to the space station. I don't remember the bad guy's name, but everybody's standing to attention to get the latest information from our head villain. His name was
Drax too. I think unironically his name was Drax.
I have no idea. I just know he wanted to shoot viruses into the Earth from space. But everybody was in the same jumpsuit. This one, the lights go out and everybody stands to attention and they knock out James.
And now he's in another torture device. It's
my least favorite torture device.
Yes.
In the fact that I don't rate it poorly. I would be terrified to be in this torture device.
Yeah. Being on the receiving end, no thank you. But it seems like it's only effective the first time it's used. That, or the movie lies to us. Okay, this torture sequence, and I'm going to jump straight to it. He says that if he targets a very specific nerve, he can stop Bond from recognizing faces for the rest of his life. There are people who are face blind. They don't recognize people's faces. It's very rare. So most people who say that they are face blind are lying to you, and they're just, arrogant. But there are some people where they'll recognize you as they are talking to you. But once you walk away, your face kind of blurs in their head and they can no longer pick you out in a crowd. So they're saying, if we hit this nerve, that's going to happen to you. They hit that nerve and he's like, all right, go and see your lover who is never going to recognize your face again. And she's like,
didn't work.
Yeah, she's like, I love you. And he's like, of course I recognize you, or whatever. And he's able to pass off the bomb, blah, 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 blah. But for the rest of the movie, I'm watching him being like, does he really recognize people, or is he taking guesses as to who he is speaking to?
I think he recognizes people because it didn't work, because his brainstem is just that powerful.
Yep, he is just that strong. Like, there, you can have fun watching it and trying to convince yourself that he doesn't actually recognize anyone, but it's fleeting, because he absolutely recognizes everyone. It didn't work. It was a whole speech that was nothing. It's a big nothing burger, like so much of this movie.
So, I mean, this is where he does say the name, but he does talk about, oh, this is the clever reveal of, I am actually Bond's adoptive family brother. And I was so mad that, do you know what birds do when another bird comes in? They push the original bird out of the nest. So I knew I had to kill my dad. And it's like, whoa, you might actually be just unhinged. Okay.
So, yeah, this, oh boy, his obsession with his father's love, and the fact that his father was sharing his love with this traumatized child, it's not a very compelling bit of motivation, but we do essentially get a I am your brother reveal in this movie. And oh boy, I can't wait to watch some movies from the the early 2000s. Spectre is 2015. We have to keep remembering, like, they have become a parody of themselves. Saying that Blofeld is Bond's brother is the joke that other people have made to parody Bond, where they're like, what if it was Bond but also Star Wars? Wouldn't that be funny? And now Bond has said, it's like Bond and Star Wars.
It's family. Yes. They have a reason to hate you. Okay. I think last details, enjoyment of the torture scene would be how awful the whirring and crunching and screaming all sound together. Because since Casino Royale, that has not been as visceral as that. And then he does it again. And then he almost gets Bond's eyes, and it's like, I am so uncomfortable. This looks so terrifying. I can't even focus. Like, I'm
sitting here thinking, throw the freaking watch, Madeline.
I know that I watched that scene before I watched this again, and I missed the brother reveal because I was so uncomfortable.
You were too busy squirming about eyeballs getting drilled into. Which is quite effective, but yeah. And then, of course, the watch is a bomb because the alarm is very loud. Har, har, har.
Yeah. Kaboom.
This does not...
It kills Blofeld.
Yeah, like, we do see the blood from his face when he lands on the ground. It's only like a split second, but we do see what happens.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's definitely 100% dead. No way Blofeld is coming back in this movie. That's impossible.
He's so dead. Bond and... I lost her name.
Madeline Swan. Dr. Madeline Swan.
They're able to kind of shoot their way out to a helicopter that's waiting and prepped for them.
Yeah, there were two of them waiting. Like, they had their pick.
It feels so anticlimactic that we are moving on to this next. Oh, we gotta save MI6.
Yeah.
We just met and tortured Bond and beat the guy that was the torturer.
We just, with a single bullet shot to the right canister, we just blew up his entire base and information hub. Like,
oh yeah. Is that? Oh no. Well, I mean, that's the one I didn't get mad at that one, but yes, that also happened. Why did the rest of the place blow up when they're getting on the helicopter?
Because he hit the right gas tank, I guess.
Because it needed to blow up.
Yes.
Like, okay, fine.
We do see a couple of vehicles driving away from the exploding building, so clearly someone has made it out. At least 2 drivers made it out.
Yeah, I did see that and was like, oh, I mean, that's nice little Easter egg of, oh, okay, Blofeld isn't actually dead.
You lied to me? Justin, how could you lie to me?
I mean, it's... yeah. They make their way back to England to talk to M, who's got a timer on Q's computer saying, this is when the next information thing will take over. We've got to stop it. And it's like, so... yes, it was attached to Blofeld's stuff, but Blofeld's dead now. That's what the movie is telling us. He's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we still do have to turn it off, but like, it's a button. Like, you will turn it off and then be done.
And on top of that,
Blofeld's back.
he has resigned and he has been shut down. So he's a vigilante at this point. Yeah. If M is going in to stop C in the Nine Eyes program. He's now a bad guy. That's how I'm reading M and MI6 on this mission. They're criminals. They're criminals.
They need everybody that they have to do something. Maybe Tanner doesn't do anything. I can't remember seeing him.
I think he drives.
He does something. Oh, yeah, because like the Bond and M are in the front car.
Yeah.
And they get kidnapped, but M gets away.
Yep.
But then
in the most impossible getaway of all getaways.
He's knocked out. But guess what? He runs down a tunnel.
Yes. And no one saw him.
No one hears the echo of the feet sprinting down the tunnel.
Oh my gosh. But he got away. Good for him.
So many hand waving. Like, it's just impossible how many things happen that it's not that they're impossible to actually have been done, but they shouldn't have happened.
Or at least it should have been a little more justified with the way that they had done it. But I do love after Bond has been kidnapped and they are trying to deliver him somewhere. One of the henchmen like pulls his gun too close and Bond just strikes like a viper. Like he just moves so fast. And I like it. I really like Daniel Craig as James Bond. I think he just carries this role so well. And then he like completes it by tearing off his CG plastic handcuffs, the zip tie handcuffs that are made out of computer graphics.
I mean, I think on the CinemaSins channel, I did watch the wins of this one, and they're like, you can't actually break them. It's like, well, I don't know that they actually had a big break.
You can.
For real.
100% you can. Or at least someone can. But Daniel Craig did not.
Yeah. I mean, they kidnapped him to take him to MI6, which is empty, where yet again Blofeld is waiting for him
and waiting for him to show up alone. Like
they got themselves killed for the plan. They could have just dropped him off. They didn't have to escort him.
Yeah, they could have just taken off his hood, got back in whatever vehicle they were in, and just drove away and been like, all right, you're on your own. And he still tears off the zip tie on his own. But no, they had to be the sacrificial lambs for this climax.
I mean, I feel like Bond is going there, but I don't understand who said, Bond, you should go to the building because we are going to Max's place to stop the software.
He's only going there because that's where they dropped him off, the kidnappers. Okay. He's just walking forward. Like, he's doing the arrogant thing that Bond has done this entire franchise, which is to, like, blink a couple of times and then just start walking forward.
Yeah. So eventually he goes through all these like cell blocks where pictures are taped up, and there's all sorts of red thread, which is just detonator cord. But it's, I was like, if this building was going to get demolished, they wouldn't have left the charges there. So Blofeld, between dying and now, set them all up and strung it all around to somebody.
I mean, he had hundreds of people in the balcony watching his super secret meeting in Rome. I'm sure he could find a dozen of them to string up some explosives.
For one more confrontation with Bond.
I like his scar. I like the Blofeld facial scar.
It matches the original Blofeld a little nicely.
The first time we saw his face. Now, none of the subsequent Blofelds had a facial scar. Like, it is important to note that it was really only the You Only Live Twice Blofeld, the very first time we saw his full face, that he had a scar, and no other time. And yet this movie's like, no, that is the defining feature.
We must make an origin story for it.
Yes. It's so important. But it looks cool. I forgive it. I like it.
Behind bulletproof glass, tells Bond that Madeline's here somewhere. I'm leaving.
You got 3 minutes. Bond. Good luck.
He finds Madeline to escape, and it's like, okay.
Oh, and here's the thing. The whole time he's doing that, M and Q are alone dealing with Max and, you know, bringing down the Nine Eyes network. They're being the real heroes of this movie.
Yep. I mean, that was what Bond had already killed Blofeld once, so guess you gotta do it again.
Oh, man. I do like when Bond is like, you're a hard man to kill. Like, it's a good line. And then on the other end of one-liners, I hate when Max, I hate calling him C, but he reaches for his gun in his desk and he tries to pull the trigger, but there's nothing in there. It's empty. And M is like, I guess we know what the C stands for, which we absolutely do. We do know what the C stands for, and it is not careless, which is what M says. Oh, gosh, such a lame line. Like,
see, and they did add, time for the other characters. Didn't mean that it had a good
yes.
So I appreciate knowing more about their personalities, but it didn't.
Maybe don't need them so much.
Yeah. We already have so many minutes in this movie. It's too many minutes in this movie.
Well, Bond will eventually find the girl, which is good. She has to bang and make noise because just like the Joker, Blofeld cheats at his games. And he hid Swan behind some steel stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How will he ever find her?
With the banging of her feet. Thank goodness for that.
We're coming up on my least favorite part, and I'm so mad that it's the way that the end happens. So they are escaping, but
I'm going to say it's not my least favorite part. We've probably already long since passed my least favorite. I don't even know if I have a least favorite. There's a lot of things that keep piling up. And for me, the MI6 is getting demolished and everything has been cleared out. Except for a boat, apparently.
One boat.
Yeah.
It's there. Who knows why. That's how Blofeld got in. He turned it around.
There we go.
Except he was taking a helicopter away.
I get so angry when we see Bond and Madeline on the boat escaping MI6 because I'm like, Okay, what else was left in there? Like, what other gadgets did they have that we didn't know about? Like,
listen, Brosnan got a boat.
yeah,
Craig gets a boat.
everybody gets a boat. We all gotta have a boat.
Something like that. The boat. They are on it, and Bond knows that Blofeld's in a helicopter that he can see. Mm-hmm. And he shoots about, 7 times?
Enough to reload, because he does fully reload at one point.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Well, he doesn't reload. He empties his first gun and then reaches into his pocket for the PPK, for his real gun.
That just seems like such an impossible shot.
That's why he needed the PPK.
Yeah. It only needs to happen because we need to confront Blofeld and not kill him. If the helicopter crash had killed him, shucks. But we need the helicopter to crash beautifully and leave Bond with a decision to be an assassin for Her Majesty's government or be with Madeline. And Bond chooses Madeline for fun, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, golly. It's not great. I'm going to tell you that much. I really don't like this ending. I don't like the way it plays out. I don't like the way it looks. I don't see it as the big choice. I genuinely don't see him as making the call to quit, as it were, because while they are still allies, M gives this whole lecture to Max about how a license to kill is also a license to not kill, to know when to not pull the trigger. And so apparently I'm supposed to believe that this is him refusing his job and giving up his position. No, M told me himself that this is part of the job, is not killing someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's unclear that Bond is choosing to exit, that Bond is choosing to not work with MI6 anymore. Mm-hmm. But then we get one last scene with Bond going to Q and Q being like, oh, I thought you'd gone.
Yeah.
Sure, that's also vague. Like, you could have gone on vacation, but I swear this movie was to end Daniel Craig's Bond.
See, and here's the thing. They had already signed him for 2 more movies, with this one being the first of 2. So the filmmakers themselves knew that there was going to be 1 more movie. There was a contract for 1 more movie. Like, why did they make it so final?
It seemed so like, oh, well, you chose the lady and nothing is suggesting that it's a cliffhanger, which some people don't like, sure. Mm-hmm. It seems appropriate if you know there's another movie already coming. Then yes, you can do a cliffhanger because we know there's a second part.
Yeah. Yep. Then, unfortunately, the 25th movie was hit with several delays, because we're looking at 2015 for Spectre and 2021 for No Time to Die. That's a 6-year gap with the same actor between movies. We have never seen that before.
See, I wonder, maybe when we watch it, if they do be like, yeah, 5 years later, they had 5 good years of just not being spies anymore.
Yep,
like, I
just having a good time.
Love that for Bond.
Yeah, yes. Let him have his woman.
Enjoy it off screen, and then it's, if it picks up right after this, I would be a little frustrated.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see. I'm not going to find out tonight. I'm so tired. I am not going to watch it tonight. But since you've been leading the way on this thing, why don't you explain the next part? For us.
And then I get to go second. For our rating systems, we go with a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being the highest and essentially saying everybody should love this movie. 5 being so much as the average person would enjoy this movie, and 1 being I don't think anybody should enjoy this movie. I don't say those with any sort of bias towards this current movie, but in general, averages in school or places tend to put stuff around 7. If something is average, we don't want to call it a 5, but here we will definitely do 5s if necessary. Last time we saw something super high, I can't remember if it was a 9 or a 10.
I gave it a 10. I gave Skyfall a 10.
Everybody should love Skyfall.
Yep. And then you hit me with a 6.5.
I didn't love it.
Which is fine.
And this one, I will let you go first.
All right. Well, I didn't love this one. And for me, I'm down to a 3. I would put this below Quantum of Solace, which I also did not particularly like. But my main reason for doing that is that we've already had this story. And it was 2 movies ago. Like, it's not like we've had a lot of time to forget that he already tried to do a super organization story in the Bond franchise, not this director. And then on top of that, so much of this movie, I think Green as the villain from Quantum of Solace gets referenced twice in the entirety of the movie. Otherwise, they're mostly trying to say, you remember Casino Royale? You remember Skyfall? This movie's also connected. Isn't that crazy? Ooh. Like, don't remember that other movie. We'll just completely ignore that one. But, this one's here. And so that's really what hurts it for me. If I was completely unaware of Quantum of Solace, this would probably be a 4 out of 5. But in context, knowing that this feels so derivative, I've got to knock it down a point just for copying someone else's homework. You can copy and do better, and it's still copying,
Copying and doing worse is a feat.
Yes.
Well, I think going into our discussion, I was probably at about just a 5. And then thinking through everything that just got waved through, like, oh, green light this, green light that. How does it happen? I don't actually know. We're not going to need to explain that. We're going to get these 2 beautiful people together, and they're going to overcome the odds.
Trust us, they love each other.
Trust us, yeah. I think I'm happy enough to knock it down a half a point, just because 5 already is a very average movie. 4.5 is where I would land, because I don't actively hate everything that's happening, but I don't love much of it. Like the effective portions of the film are how uncomfortable I feel with the torture, how sometimes there's a fun sense of humor, but man, it just gets all drowned in the improbable solutions and routes of exposition. This ring proves Franz is alive. Like, it has nothing to do with Franz. I don't understand. How did you imagine that this connection is there? Anyway, 4.5 seems like a fair score to me.
I mean, for a show average, that puts us at a 3.75. In terms of our 3s, it is the highest. Which,
I mean, it's better than some of those bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are elements to this that are still very watchable and very interesting. It's just, for me, especially after Skyfall, which really felt like it was pinnacle Bond for me. Like, we had hit the peak of the mountain, and then to turn around and go to one of the lowest valleys, I'm just like, come on. Couldn't you have tried a little harder? And I don't know if I could point to anyone as being at fault for that, but it was going to be nearly impossible to follow Skyfall. Like, that really was an incredible movie.
Really good movie.
Yeah, a perfect movie.
Well, I don't know if I explained everything. I'm trying to remember how you do the either outro or if
I'm willing to take over for the outro. I won't force you to do that part because that one is also complicated.
You should probably have it written down somewhere.
I should, because I never do it the same way. I try to remember the 3 big things, and that's really all. And then I never do it in the same order. I never say the same things, but I will say, on whatever platform you are currently listening, if you could interact with us by leaving a rating or a review or sharing or leaving a comment, whatever it is that is on the platform you are currently listening, that helps us out a ton because it tells that platform, hey, other people like you might like this, and it gets things out there. Sharing is a more personal way to do that, but if the episodes are a little bit too much, why don't you check out our shorts on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram? If you like any of those, you can share those with your friends, and maybe they'll want to listen to the podcast that way. And then if there's anything that we say or any ideas that you have where you're like, I can't believe you missed that, send us an email. That's the fastest and bestest way to get in touch with us. It is potatochippicturespod@gmail.com. Those are the 3 big ones that I focus on. Oh, and then I do the Potato Chip Pictures and James Bond will return in No Time to Die for the last time. Well, second to last time.
Yeah,
but last movie time for the Bond franchise. That's going to be next week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye. I think that went really well.
Yeah, I enjoyed criticizing that movie. I feel like Skyfall just had so many nice, like, logical steps down the path of the plot. And this one's like, oh, well, we need this to happen, so make it happen.